Welcome to MatthewMama.com. I'm really excited you've joined me today. I am going to be talking about measurement and data, specifically in grades K through 4. These standards are often taught as standalones, or in other words, measurement is taught separately from bar graphs. I want to propose to you today a cycle for how you can teach all of your MD standards in a way that will save you time and will help your students gain conceptual understanding. So let's get started. The standards say to start by estimating for reasonableness. We often teach this in 2 lessons throughout the year, and they're standalone and they have nothing to do with anything else. Estimating for reasonableness is really important for us to do every day. I love in 3-act tasks how we begin by estimating a really, really small estimate and a really big estimate, and then we think about what's a reasonable estimate. So it's really important that we start our lessons estimating. Now I'm going to use the example today of measuring our hand. Let's say we measure from the base of your hand up to the tip of your middle finger. And in the lower grades, we're measuring with non-standard units, maybe paper clips or Linker cubes. And when we get up into the bigger grades, we're measuring with standard units, like inches or centimeters, or maybe even yards, if we want them to understand fractions of a unit. So the first thing I do is I estimate, about how many Linker cubes would it take to measure my hand? I think about 8 Linker cubes. That estimation is really important for students to create a mental picture of about how big the unit is. If they don't have the opportunity to do that estimation first, then they're not creating a mental picture. So always estimate first. Once we've estimated, we're going to go ahead and measure. So I need to know what I'm measuring with. In some grade levels, I'm going to measure 2 objects with the same unit. I'm going to measure my hand with paper clips, and I'm going to measure your hand with paper clips. Or I'm going to measure my hand with Unifix cubes, and I'm going to measure your hand with Unifix cubes. 2 objects, same unit. When we get into the upper grades, we're going to measure the same object with 2 units. This is so important. Please don't skip over this. Your students need to play with this over and over because I need to measure my hand with inches and then again with centimeters. I need to understand conceptually that if I have a unit this big or a unit this big, it's not going to take as many of these to fill it up as it will of these. Because this unit is big and this unit is little, I will need a lot of these little units to equal the same as this unit. This is early fraction sense. A lot of people have said that there's no fractions in the younger grades anymore. There it is. It's clearly there, and it's so important for students to understand. Now that they've measured, and usually twice, then they need to record their work or their thinking in some way. We might record this in a tally chart or any kind of chart, really, or maybe a table of some sort. And so maybe I have a table here and I have the student's name and the centimeters long their hand is, or whatever it might be. And I can record that data. I've got Alex and Joe and Mom. Maybe this is homework. And this one's 6 centimeters, and this one's 7 centimeters, and this one's 10 centimeters. I'm making that up. I have no idea. I'm not doing good estimating. Now we can put that information into a really fun graph. This is so exciting for students. Students love to make graphs. Let them make it. It'll be messy and sloppy. And when they've made the 5th or 6th one, it'll start to look nice. Let them make a bunch of these. Because when you teach in this cycle, you won't need to spend a week. You'll spend a day or 2, and then you'll get to do another one tomorrow and another one the next day. Now, what's the graph that we all go to? You know which one it is. We all go to the bar graph. It's an easy one, and it makes sense in like 99% of situations, right? So, great, let them make a bar graph. Oh, but the standards say that I have to make a line plot. Fantastic. When they're done making a bar graph, make a line plot also. Compare the graphs. Is the data the same? Did it change? What's going on here? Compare them. They're going to naturally want to ask questions. Now, folks, this is a big one. Don't ask them the questions. Look at your standards, read them. They specifically say that students ask and answer questions. So let them. Don't take that away from them. The students are the ones here to ask, and the students are the ones who will answer. Yes, each other's questions. Great. Who has the biggest hand in our class? Let's find out. Let's ask each other. Some of these questions you may or may not be able to answer, and in some situations, you might even find that tomorrow we're going to have to do this all over again. I hope you try out measurement and data in this way with your class. I realize it's summer and it's the beginning of the school year, but try it the first week of school. Why not? Have a fun day with measurement and data at the beginning of the year and see, it may last them the whole year long. I hope you've enjoyed. Please, if you try this out in your class, let me know how it goes. The highs, the lows, everything. I'm Matthew Mama. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I'll see you next time.